10-year odyssey, researching and writing the script, securing the life rights to the real characters, and putting together an Academy Award-winning team that shared his passion for the project. Steeped in film, comic book, and game culture all his life, Gloria is Keller's first feature film. Sofia Espinoza is a Mexican-born actress. We're very familiar with her here at the Havana Film Festival in New York, since she was in a film earlier this week called Los Bañistas, which means the open cage, where she was the screenwriter. So not only is she an actor, but she is also an acclaimed screenwriter. We also know her for being in the film The Girl in the Stone, and now she's in this biopic about Gloria Trevi called Gloria. Please help me welcome Christian Keller and Sofia Espinoza, director and protagonist of Gloria.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. I read about the story about 10 years ago here in New York, actually, and I was moved by it and very intrigued by it immediately, and I hope you'll feel the same way. And without much further ado, enjoy. Thank you.
Enjoy the film.
Thank goodness I had an opportunity to speak with the two of you beforehand. And something that touched me very much that you pointed out was you were very clear. You know, I'm sure you grew up with Gloria Trevi, a great part of your life, that you were not going to copy her. So I wanted to hear your philosophy of how you executed a pop icon.
Well, as everyone knows, Gloria Trevi, it was like really easy to make like a cartoon of her, or like a copy. So we really wanted to focus like on the story we were gonna tell. We wanted to focus on the energy, like getting the energy and the strength of Gloria and the like this rebellious woman that she was, and we did that together. I worked with dancer, like a choreographer was working with me, singing, I took singing lessons. I worked a lot with Marco Perez, the actor that I think is like really fabulous too. So we were like really, I studied a lot of the character, but I also worked a lot in the film, like without trying to be exactly the same, but like having the same essence.
How did a nice Swiss guy like you get involved in a Mexican story, telling it in Spanish, and even in Portuguese?
Yeah, that's a good question. No, you know, I read about the story actually here in New York, and being Swiss, I had no idea who Gloria Trevi was. But I was really intrigued by it, and the more I started to learn about it and even listen to her music, the more I became drawn to it. And I think ultimately it was a good thing to be Swiss, because I didn't have these preconceived notions of who Gloria Trevi was, or the scandal and the story and all that stuff. And I think that helped look at it more just as a story rather than, you know, the scandalous thing.
What also impressed me was you did your own singing, and this is the first film you've been in. You've been in film since you're 14 years of age, but this was the first film that you sang, and to sing a Gloria Trevi is really almost, as we say, a hard act to follow. But you sang, you danced. So how was that journey, and comparing yourself to her?
It was great actually. Chris like always told me you should sing the songs, but of course the songs had to be like almost perfect, no? Not as exactly the same as Gloria, but at least with the same strength too, and with the same like personality that Gloria had. So it was really cool for me, like to be singing all the time, having these lessons, getting into the studio and trying like to get the texture of her music. And also when we recorded the songs, we did it like again after shooting the film. So it was great because I already knew like the feelings that Gloria had when she sang the songs, and I think a lot of her music is like acted. You know, she really acts what she's singing. So we were like really into that and really feeling the songs.
I remember when you said, when I entered this, your first-time director, your assumption, you thought it was a great story, was that you could do this in a year. 10 years later, you're finishing your film.
Right.
So talk about a labor of love, passion, but a 10-year journey.
Yeah, you know, it was just really tough. I mean, when I read about it, I mean, I had no idea. I was 19. I didn't know anyone. I had never done anything. There were a lot of challenges, but you know, in finding the right people to work with, finding Sofia, finding the right crew, the right producers, getting the rights, which was quite an ordeal, and finding the money. But I'm really, I think everything worked out the way it had to. And, you know, 10 years ago, Sofia would have been 15, so it would have been hard to make the movie.
Don't tell my age group.
I'm sorry, you both outed yourselves. I find it, I feel like I'm an expert in Sofia Espinoza this week, where I've seen 2 films at this Havana Film Festival that you're in. Los Bainistas, The Open Cage, that you wrote the script for, you starred in it also. And then this film, Gloria, which I have to say that there's a little part of you in both films that I connected with, La Maldita, the little bad girl. And so this recurring theme in both these films. So how is it playing the bad girl?
Wow, I never thought like that. Because I think these are like completely different characters, but yeah, and between themselves, but I think I like to be in the bad girl. Yeah, because sometimes they like get you to do something really similar, like and what you've done before. And I think what I really enjoy is like these really different characters. Like before these 2 films, I've done the victim for a couple of times, and it's fun, but it's fun also like to do the bad girl.
So how was it working with Sofia?
Oh, well, it was brilliant. No, I think, you know, it was really hard to find the right actress for Gloria, because I think Gloria has this really unique strength and energy about her, and we had to find somebody who could embody that. And I don't think anybody else could have done that. And Sofia was an amazing, you know, partner in crime, and we were always, I think, reading each other's minds. And it was great. And I think it's amazing because before we started, she had never really sung, and then she sang all the songs in the film. And that's pretty mind blowing, I think.
Actually, picking up on something you just said, one of the things you told me about when I said, what advice do you have for first-time film directors or just a director? And your thing, I think something you're bringing out now was, you said, picking a really good team. Getting people that you trust and who trust you. And so that's interesting. When I asked you, how was it working with Sofia, you said she was my partner in crime.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, we had a great team, and I'm really, yeah, in all the areas, especially the cast.
I've interviewed actors who have played questionable characters, and they always say the first thing you have to do is suspend judgment. Having been doing this film for a year, which is really an intense process, how do you feel about Gloria Trevi today as a person?
Well, I think she's one of the what really makes her different to lots of other pop stars is that she went really up, and she got to know the deepest part, like como el infierno,
like like
Yeah,
hell.
she went like really down, really deep, and she was able to get back up. So I think she's like really, she has this strength that we see in her concerts and in her songs. She has it in life, and I really admire that as an artist. And I don't know, it's hard to have an opinion, like a judgeable opinion, even now, because for me it's like the film and the character I did is like what it is, and that's it. And in real life, well, lots of other things happen, but as I didn't get the chance to live them, this is what for me is like the story of Gloria. So I think it's a pretty complex character, like to have such an opinion.
This film premiered at the South by Southwest Film Festival, correct? And I heard that Gloria Trevi actually, who lives in McClellan, Texas, went and saw it there, correct? And that she encouraged people to see it, and I heard that she laughed, she cried, and that she connected with this character. How did you feel about those comments as the protagonist of the film?
Well, I think it's always important to hear the opinion if the person you are making the biopic of is still alive first, that it's very weird that happens. And for me it was really nice.
As I asked her, as the actress who got into her for a year, what she thought of Gloria Trevi, you who spent 10 years on this project as the director, really got deeply into it, how do you feel about Sergio Andrade?
Wow, that's a great question. How do I feel about him? In what way? About him as a person?
You have a 6-lane highway. You can take that wherever you want.
Well,
how do you feel about Sergio now that you've done this, that you got in there?
Well, you know, the thing that always fascinated me about Sergio actually was that he has this, even knowing him and knowing everything he's done and that he's a pretty crazy guy, he has this amazing charisma. And, you know, I spent years trying to convince him to give us the rights, and we had to do it for legal reasons. And I really didn't like the guy, even in my own experience. And when I first met him, he was so charming, and he had this amazing energy about him, which was really weird. He started singing to me and in a recording studio. It was crazy. But I think that's why he was able to do a lot of these things. And you know, we decided early on we didn't want to judge the story or the character. So but we worked really hard to do that with Gloria and Sergio. And I think everybody should make up their own mind how they feel about him and Gloria.
You've done films since 14. We now know your age. You've done quite a number of films. What advice do you have for actors?
I think, well, that you don't have to wait in a chair that the telephone rings and someone offers you a film. I think as an actor you have to learn to, I don't know if producing, but for me it has worked, like to make team and get to make your own things, because if not you can just like wait your whole life.
Which is how you did it with Los Bañistas.
Yeah.
Open Cage.
Open Cage was nice because we
Because you're
got
the co-executive producer and the screenwriter of the actress.
Yeah, so I think if I was just waiting for a part and the part didn't came, I would just like be so sad that I'm not able to act, you know? So I think you have to do it, to act and to search for the things you want to do and do them.
And you as a first-time director, not that you're a major veteran, but 10 years that you worked on this, what's your biggest advice?
Well, you know, most of these 10 years were really spent not actually making the film, but just trying to get it, fighting to get it off the ground, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. But I would say, just be, you know, for me, it was important to learn that, you know, if you fight for something really hard, you can actually get it done, even if it takes 10 years. And so it's important, I think, not to give up, and also to be clear about why you want to do something, so that, and to be honest with yourself about that, so that when it gets tough, which it usually does, I guess, so that you know why you keep fighting. Yeah, not at all. Yeah, she had no control where the exact went out. I mean, it was really important, and that was one of the hard parts of convincing them, but it was really important to us always to do the research and to be able to tell the story in an objective manner, how, the way we thought it should be told. Well, it's been released in Mexico theatrically, and we showed it at South by Southwest, and now here, and it's coming out here later this summer, and the response has been very positive. I mean, in Mexico it was great. I think people were surprised by the way the story was told, and a lot of people said they didn't. It was different from what they expected, which was great. And no, I think we were very happy with how it has been received so far. But it's only the beginning. It was really important to us to try to use the music to keep telling the story and to tell the story of her life. And one of the great things was that in one of our first interviews with Gloria, she said, you just have to, I'm an open book, just look at the lyrics and my music and you will know my story. And I think that's actually true. She always sang about what she was feeling and what she was going through at any particular moment in her life. And we really want, our goal was to use that in the film to help the audience hopefully, experience at the heightened level what she's going through, and also show how her music was created and came about.
I auditioned in Mexico City. I met Chris 5 years ago, and we went to take a coffee, and he was already working on doing the film. So then nothing happened, and 5 years afterwards they called me to do the casting, and I thought that it was for me. So it was a long stage of casting, like a month and a half, sort of, and that's it.
Yeah, I met Sofia 5 years earlier, and I immediately thought, wow, she would be perfect, but she's too young. So it had to take another 5 years, I guess, to get the movie made.
Talk to me about the animation, the gaming technology you put into it, the magical realism. So it wasn't just a flat, linear movie.
Well, I think Gloria Trevi has this, one of the things that we were most concerned about, or me especially, was trying to find the right tone for the film. And Gloria, I always felt Gloria had these two sides to her, she has this dark side, this dark sexual side, and also this childish and light side, and that's present in her music. It's very childish and naive, but it talks about women's rights and death and rape, and I think in her life story and even in the comic books that she drew, and we wanted to try to find a way to bring this kind of clash into the film, and also I think it's just part of the style of the time, and her style, her music videos, her performances, and we wanted to try to find a way, adapt it a little bit, to make it slightly more modern, but bring that fun and craziness into the movie.
Sofia, I'm going to give you the last word before we close for the night. What, again, having done as many films as you have behind the scenes in front of the camera, working on this film in particular, what surprised you the most? about you in the film, in the making of this film?
I think everything. No, no, but it was like a really big challenge.
¿Cuál fue el choque más grande? ¿Qué te sorprendió de ti misma que pudiste lograr?
No sé, creo que fue el espectáculo, el show, el estar en los escenarios, cantar, el como tener este referente y poderlo hacer de esta forma. Creo que también mucho el trabajo con Christian para mí era, Christian está loco, tiene un humor, un sentido del humor muy particular.
Crazy, his sense of humor.
Y fue muy bonito como también dejarme llevar
He let me go.
con su idea de cómo quería hacer la película, porque entonces me permitió explorar nuevas cosas a partir de dejarme llevar, de no querer tener el control todo el tiempo, sino seguir
So basically, the concerts, the spectacles of it all, and the fact that Christian, as she said, is crazy, and that he gave her license to be, and gave her the freedom to go as far as she wanted to go, and she did it, and obviously, pleasingly so, exitosamente bien, y no, estupendo. My hat goes off to the two of you. Les celebro muchísimo la película. Christian, Sofia.